The Atlanta Braves sweep their Tuesday doubleheader against the Washington Nationals thanks to Ranger Suarez, thanks to Matt Olson. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. That is Jake Mastroianni, host of Locked On Braves. Follow him on social media at Shortstop Ball. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Braves wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Jake's had a ton of great content this week. And I'm not just saying that because he read my tweet on the show on Tuesday. There's been a bunch of great stuff all week from Jake. But we got a lot of great stuff to talk about from today. The Atlanta Braves took both ends of their doubleheader against the Washington Nationals. Game 2, obviously, 5-0 in 10 innings. A pitching duel through 8 that they turned around and were able to take care of. And this is after winning 6-3 this afternoon, whatever. I want to talk about, the pitching was really great. Ranger Suarez in the morning, Chris Sale in the afternoon and all of that. But, Matt Olson is on what almost feels like a generational heater right now. He has 4 homers in his last 5 games, including 4 consecutive homers. He's homered in 4 consecutive days now. And he has the big hit in game 2, the 3 RBI triple in the 10th inning that gives Atlanta the lead and ultimately ends up being the big blow of this game.
Yeah, Matt Olson, these are the numbers before today, a 1253 OPS and a 234 WRC plus in the month of September. I was getting ready to put together a whole show on him, and then we had the rain delay and all of that. We're still going to, so get ready for that on the next episode of Locked On Braves. There's your tease for this postcast. But because I want to dive into, are we seeing something different here with Matt Olson? We've talked a lot about, has he really been the one to benefit from these Tim Hires approach changes, or is this just, one of those good odd years that we see for Matt Olson? Because he seems to be in this every other year type of thing. But what he's doing in September, is incredible. That triple comes a day late, right? He had a chance for the cycle the night before. Yeah. But he does get that triple, so he's got a cycle in the series already. And the one real, thing you could say about Matt Olson is just the lack of power this year, that he hasn't shown enough power. And here he is having, a huge month of September power-wise. And if he can put that together, along with the approach changes that we've seen with him being more patient and taking his walks, which he's always done a good job taking walks, but then also hitting for average. Again, you're like I said yesterday, he's one of the best first basemen in baseball. Quietly, absolutely. He's having one of the best years for any first baseman in baseball. So it's just really fun to watch and witness. And even in that 10th inning, he goes and makes a great play running into the wall there. Hopefully he's okay. Came up a little bit limping there, but he's also a guy that he posts for you every single day. And that means a lot. And he's just, again, I think we said the same. We said this last night. If you don't like Matt Olson at this point, it's only because he's not Freddie Freeman. That is the only reason that you don't like him, because he has been fantastic for this Braves team since coming over, and especially this year where everything else has gone poorly. Matt Olson has been the one constant bright spot for this Braves offense all year long.
Yeah, he's really made everything happen. Credit to Emmanuel there in the chat, kind of mentioning he won't rest until they say Matt Olson's knees are okay. He did bang knees there against the wall in the 10th, making that catch. Matt, to your point, Matt Olson's not missed a game since he was traded to Atlanta. And it's not like he's posted when you needed him. He's literally never missed a single game as an Atlanta Brave. Hypothetical here. I didn't tell you I was doing this. If he has to sit out tomorrow with some knee pain, knee soreness, whatever it might be, from playing 19 innings a day and hitting the wall in the 19th inning, how mad are you going to be that it happened in a useless season like this? And who does Atlanta put out there at first base to replace him?
Yeah, I'd be pretty frustrated if that were to end the streak. I mean, we know it's going to happen at some point. And look, there have probably been some times where Matt Olson probably did need a day. I mean, I just talked about how consistent he's been this year, but there have been moments where I felt like the guy just probably needed a day here or there. But yeah, that'd be pretty frustrating. That was my immediate thought. The first thought was, why are you doing that in a 10th inning of a game? You're up 5-0 in a meaningless game. But also it shows the type of guy that he is. I mean, he can play hard for you. He is going to go out there every single day and do everything that he can. And that's the type of, I know everybody's going to make the Freddie Freeman comparisons, but that's what Freddie Freeman did too. I mean, Freddie went out there every day. He played hard no matter what. And Matt Olson does that too. And doesn't get enough credit for it just because he is the guy to replace Freddie Freeman. So hopefully a lot more fans, if nothing else good comes out of this year, hopefully that is what does come out of this for a lot of Braves fans. It's just to appreciate Matt Olson for who Matt Olson is, who is a great player in his own right and has done a lot of good things for this Braves team and has been a great leader for this team. And I don't want to answer your second question because I don't want to see anybody else over there at first base. Definitely not Marcelo Ozuna.
Yeah, no, they if I remember right, the Braves have kind of scrapped that initial plan they had from last year. To your point of like being the guy to replace Freddie Freeman, I'm just going to do the thing. We're both Auburn guys. I'm going to do the thing here. Matt Olson's been a lot better replacing the guy than some situations you've seen. I'm thinking about Kalen DeBoer at Alabama trying to replace Nick Saban. Matt Olson's been
low-hanging fruit there, Lindsay, but we'll take it.
Matt Olson's been just as good at first base, if not better than Freddie Freeman, unlike how Kalen DeBoer has completely crashed and burned at Alabama trying to replace Nick Saban. All I'm saying is Auburn's the best football team in the state. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And to your point, the month of September, his stats are honestly ridiculous. 364 average, 1247 OPS, 6 home runs, 14 RBI. I'm starting to think, because right now he's at 27 homers and 91 RBI. I'm starting to think he could actually get a 3,100 season. And he started this month, I think he was 9 home runs away from 30. And I'm thinking he could legitimately, if everything goes right in these final 10 games, right? You've got Detroit, you got tomorrow against the Nationals, Detroit for 3 in Detroit. You've got Nationals at home for 3, Pirates at home for 3. As long as you don't face Paul Skeens there, he could maybe get 3,100 this year. And the fact that that's even an option this late in the year blows my mind based on where he was a couple weeks ago. Outside of him, though, it feels like a guy that doesn't really get a lot of attention, who had a really good day, is Ha-Seong Kim. He had a couple hits in the first game. He comes in as a substitute today for Nick Allen. Nick Allen gets the rare start. Kim goes 1 for 2, scores another run here. I'm honestly at the point of, and I was already kind of talking about this over at Braves today, I'm honestly a little bit worried that Ha-Seong Kim is going to opt out and go to free agency simply because he's shown that when he's healthy, he is a very good, at least league average, if not better hitter. I believe in his Braves tenure right now, he's hitting over 300 since he's been here. Not a large sample size, but with how terrible the free agent market is, feels like Ha-Seong Kim's just about like fated to be going to free agency this winter.
Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit worried about it too, just because of the market, like you said, and who his agent is. And if he can get anything more than he's already guaranteed, I think he's going to go for it. I think this was you too that brought up the good point of could also be a lockout year after that. And you don't want to be going into free agency with that offseason. So if you could get any type of future money guaranteed now, of course, they're a lockout. It's not going to matter. You're not going to, get paid for that anyway. But if you can not have to be a free agent going into a potential lockout year, you would probably want to avoid that if you could. So I'm still leaning towards he's going to pick it up. Maybe that's more hopeful, wishful thinking than anything. But I can definitely see the scenario where he doesn't.
Yeah, that's just a little bit. I don't want to. He's not been here for more than a couple weeks, but I'm already in love. And I don't want him to leave. I'm going to be really sad if he opts out.
The bar is low for us at shortstops, though. Just to be completely fair, with what we've had over the last couple of seasons.
Absolutely true. All right, in just a second, I want to talk about the absurdly good pitching that Atlanta got today, because we expected Chris Sale to be good. I don't know if we thought he'd be that good, and I definitely didn't think José Suarez would be that good. We'll break that down next, right here on the Braves Postcast. You've probably seen a million ads for hair growth products and thought, yeah, sure, like that actually works. There are so many products out there, and it's hard to know which ones are actually going to do anything. And that's why you should give Nutrafol a closer look, because Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand. It's trusted by over 1.5 million people. It's not just hype. This is a supplement that's clinically tested to target the root causes of thinning and shedding with a proactive approach. It doesn't matter if you're out at work, with friends, or even just getting ready in the morning. Nutrafol can give you more confidence in your daily routine. And it's incredibly simple to add into your day. 4 pills with a meal, no prescription needed, and you can feel good knowing that Nutrafol is NSF certified and backed by peer-reviewed studies. So see thicker, stronger hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering Locked On MLB listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com. Enter the promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends at Game Time. There is nothing like catching a baseball game live. The energy, the crowd, the chance to see your team in person. But actually getting tickets, that can sometimes be the tough part. Queues, login screens, surprise fees. It can take all the fun out of the ticket buying process. And that's why I use Game Time. It is the app that gives the advantage back to fans. Game Time is fast, it's easy, and backed by the Game Time guarantee. You'll always get 100% authentic tickets delivered on time and at the best price. And fees are included. So the price you see in the app is the price you pay at checkout. App makes it super simple. You can see the exact view from your seat before buying. If you don't know exactly the specific seats you want, zone deals are your thing. Pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save big. It's honestly faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way that I have bought tickets. So download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Now, terms do apply, but again, promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Welcome back to the Braves Postcast. Lindsay, Crosby, Jake Mastroianni. Let's break down this here because Chris Sale gave us 8 scoreless innings, and we expected that from him. I think the big thing that surprised me about Chris Sale, though, he threw 24 changeups today. And CJ was talking about this on the broadcast. CJ Nikowski, friend of the show, shout out Jake and his connections here. I feel like that's probably his season high. And if I were willing to go back and look, that might be the most changeups he's thrown in any game in probably a couple seasons. Do you think that, like, we've talked before, you and I have, about Sean Murphy likes to just go after the same pitch that's working over and over again until they figure it out. And Drake Baldwin likes to vary it up a lot and throw a lot of different stuff and keep them on their toes. Do you think this is maybe a Drake Baldwin just wanted him to be more diverse than just 2 pitches? Or is this maybe they figured the changeup either would work really well or it was working really well, so they just kept using it until Washington could figure it out, and they never did?
Yeah, I'd like to go back and look at the inning breakdown usage of it and just see if it's something, because he did go 8 innings. So going through their lineup, a third, fourth time, it maybe needed to break that out a little bit more. He did only throw it to right-handed batters.
Yeah.
And so it may have been just a fact of they had a lot of righties in their lineup, and so went to that changeup a little bit more. Now, it was a good pitch for him. I wouldn't say, at least based on the data, it wasn't, necessarily an overwhelming pitch. 3 whiffs on 15 swings. That's not a high whiff rate. 4 called strikes. But I think it may have just been a circumstance based on handiness of the lineup, and getting through it, a third and fourth time. But Chris Sale's good. I mean, I feel like he could use a changeup more if he needed to. He just usually doesn't need to.
Yeah.
And even in this one, like I said, I think he could have gone through it and been fine, just mostly fastball slider like he normally was. He's just that good, and the Nationals are that bad. But, to be able to use that third pitch a little bit more often, I think that's only gonna help him.
It's kind of nice to be able to have a game where the opponent's so overmatched. You can be like, I'm going to work on some stuff in the game, and it's going to be fine. The other starter, José Suarez, set a career high in strikeouts with 9 today. I had somebody point out to me on social media during the first game that I am irrationally high on just about any reliever potentially converting to the rotation and seeing if they can work out. Is it unrealistic to think that he could potentially be a spot starter for the Braves if they need that? Or is it just, to your point, Washington's so overmatched that it could have been you or me out there and you would have held him to three runs or less over 5 innings?
Yeah, I saw your tweet too. My initial thought was Lindsay is a very optimistic person. I mean, he is looking for one of these starters to really catch on, whether it's Joey Wentz or whoever, Dane Dunning. I'm a
big Dane Dunning fan, honestly.
But I put him in that same group. Like, could José Suarez come in and have a good run for you like Bryce Elder? Sure. I've seen it. I've watched a lot of Angels games in the past. I've seen him do it before. But there's a reason he can't stick in a big league rotation. And even this start in particular, I was watching the beginning of it, and first, several balls put in play, 97.4, 106, 95, 97.4.
Hard hit balls.
I thought he is going to get rocked today. He is getting absolutely crushed. But to his credit, I thought he got better as the game went on, figured out some things. Part of that might be working with, working with Drake Baldwin in that first game, and figuring some things out with him and then working together. But 21 whiffs, I mean, that's hard to just, no matter
accidentally do.
No matter how bad a lineup is, to generate 20 plus whiffs against anybody and a 36% CSW, that's pretty impressive. And the fact, he worked in 6 different pitches, double digits times. I mean, there's certainly something there for Suarez to be, as you said, a spot starter, a 6-7 starter. But I lump him in there with a Bryce Elder, a Joey Wentz. I think they have the capability and the pitches to have some good starts, to have some good runs. I just don't trust them consistently to make 25 starts like Bryce Elder has this year.
Well, the good news is all of those guys are out of options next year. So you can stick some in the bullpen and pull them out of there for an extended opener kind of thing. And you probably have to let at least one of them go simply because you don't have the space to carry your high leverage relievers and those guys. Nate had a great question in the chat here on YouTube. How many finished games was Tyler Kinley away from his next salary escalator? So the context here is every 5 additional games Tyler Kinley finishes, 20, 25, and then 30, he gets an extra $500,000 on his next year's salary. So the club option for next year was at $5 million. We all assumed Atlanta was going to pick it up. Today was the 20th game finished for Tyler Kinley. So that's now a $5.5 million escalator. In a season like this, I know that you were tied going into the 10th, so you wanted to go with a guy you trusted in high leverage. You used Pierce Johnson early. You used Raisel Iglesias early. Was Tyler Kinley the best option to go 2 innings and pitch the 10th, or should you have grabbed somebody else? And the hard thing is, who would it have been? Dylan Lee had pitched 2 straight days. He was probably down. You don't want to ask Raisel Iglesias to pitch twice in one day. Do you ask a Dylan Dodd, a Hunter Stratton, a Nathan Wiles, a Dane Dunning? Do you ask somebody else to come out to pitch the 10th? Or do you just say getting this win is worth paying an additional $500,000 to Tyler Kinley next year?
Yeah, I mean, $500K to a Major League Baseball club's a drop in the bucket. I don't think they're really too worried about that. And I think it's probably like a good faith thing too. Like, you bring this guy over, he's pitching well for you. You kind of reward him a little bit with $500K that I don't think is going to hurt you too much. If we're sweating 500K come this off season,
okay, true.
We're gonna be in a really bad spot. So I think it's probably just whatever. They probably weren't even worried too much about it. Also, they probably weren't expecting to score 5 runs in the top of the 10th either. Like, you were expecting it to probably be a pretty close game. Now, as that inning went on, you maybe could have got somebody else up, but I think the game plan probably was from the beginning, we're just going to send Kinley back out there no matter what. And that was probably just already the thought process. May have already even said that to Kinley, and we just went ahead and went with it.
There you go. So Braves are looking to get the 4-game sweep on Wednesday afternoon, late afternoon, 4:05 Eastern start. Hurston Waldrop versus Brad Lord. I hope this is the start that Waldrop bounces back. Do we think that the Braves can come out of this with a 4-game sweep? I personally, based on what I've seen from both teams in the first 3 games, I want to say yes. It's incredibly hard to beat any team 3 times, never mind 4. But this Nationals team is pretty bad. I'm going to go on the record and say I think this is a 4-game sweep for the Braves. Hurston Waldrop gives you 6 quality innings. You take down the Nationals, and you beat Brad Lord like you're overthrowing the castle. Jake?
Here's the thing. They're getting close to catching the Marlins, and it's hurting their draft odds. So while it would be great, want it to happen, I'm getting a little worried about these draft odds here too. But yeah, from what I've seen from these 2 teams in the first 3 games of the series, I kind of expect the Braves to just go in there and win, and Waldrop to have a big bounce back game.
Nice. All right. So again, Braves win this one 5-0 in 10 innings. They win both games of the doubleheader. Again, to 4:05 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Jake and I will be back with you to break down, hopefully, what is a series sweep for the Braves. If you ask me, what is a 3-1, still keeping that 4th best odds for the lottery from Jake. But do us a favor. If you're listening on audio, leave a 5-star review to Locked On Braves. Jake is busting his butt right now, giving you guys tons of content. Also, very, very close to 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. So you can tell your friends, subscribe to Locked On Braves. Jake is that close. Let's get him that before that final game against the Pirates. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to both Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Ton of content coming on both channels about all of your Atlanta sports teams, whether it's Locked On Hawks, Locked On Falcons, Locked On Braves. For Jake Mastroianni, I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.